So Ableton dropped this video. Let's check it out here real quick.
Let's talk about Move, Ableton's new portable tool for fast, intuitive music making. It's compact and completely standalone, powered by a modern ARM processor. It has a built-in battery that gives you up to 4 hours of music making on the go per charge. It even has built-in speakers and a microphone for playback and recording. You can just pick it up like an instrument and simply create wherever you are in the moment. Move features a stereo audio output designed to connect a pair of headphones, a mixer, or powered speakers. There are also 2 USB ports, a USB-C port for charging and connecting to the computer, and a USB-A port for connecting MIDI devices. Move is built around 4 flexible MIDI tracks, which could be a drum kit, sampler, or instrument. When you load a new set, the tracks already come preloaded with a matching collection of presets from the sound library, so you can get started right away. Move.
So that's pretty dope. I don't want to, I know we go through this as a 4-minute video. That's one reason why I watched it at higher speed. But I think this is really, really dope. Just the aesthetic of it. You know what I mean? It's real compact and it looks like it's small enough to kind of slide in a backpack. You get 4 tracks, it's battery operated, USB-C, all that yin yang jazz. And it's kind of pushish, kind of reminds you of the Push, you know what I'm saying? But I like that about it already. Let's keep going.
Comes with over 1,500 samples, presets, and drum kits, including Ableton instruments and effects such as drift, wavetable, and Live's new drum sampler. Not to mention delays, choruses, and distortions to craft your sound. The Move core library has been carefully curated by the Ableton sound team and selected sound designers that are all pre-mapped to the 8 encoders for instant tweaking of sound parameters and to give you a punchy, impactful sound at your fingertips. There's also 64 gigabytes of internal storage, so there's plenty of space for your own samples. Move comes with Capture that allows you to capture your playing well before you want to record an idea. You can even capture the automation of any device parameter you tweak while being in the flow. The 32 pads on Move allow you to play your drum patterns and melodies easily. The pads also feature Aftertouch, which allows you to adjust parameters of an instrument using pressure. Whether using the in-key mode or chromatic scale mode for melodies, you can set the key and scale before you get started with a new project. You can play any sample melodically using our 16-pitch layout designed for drums in Move. This capability transforms Move into a powerful instrument, allowing you to play individual samples melodically. It is especially effective for creating deep bass lines or pitch melodies fast. The step sequencer is a fun and easy way to use the dedicated 16 steps underneath the
So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I think I kind of get the gist of what it is and what this is for and who this is for. So it's a little bit different than their Push kind of line of things, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like in the same vein. So this isn't Push, like the Push 3 when they dropped it earlier this year was kind of like Ableton in a box, so to speak. I don't think that really went over well with a lot of producers. One, because of the price point. It was locked in at like, what, 2 bands, I think, just for like Ableton in the box, but then you're limited. You don't really get like third-party plugins. You couldn't plug up an actual other MIDI controller. They wanted you to do everything on the Push. So that was kind of an L, in my opinion, for Ableton in that area. But they dropped this kind of as a standalone situation, which I think is pretty dope. And here's some things that I like about it. I like actually that it only has 4 tracks. And why I say that is because a lot of times when we're creating, less is more. You know what I mean? And I'm learning that even at this stage in my career, production and all the things. Sometimes you crowd up things when you got like 87 tracks, and these DAWs and DAWs allow us to like do limitless tracks forever, right? But we lose the creative value, you know what I'm saying, when we're like stacking like 1,000 tracks on top of it. But when you got 4 tracks, it makes you have to make decisions about what is really, really necessary and what you really don't need. So giving this like 4 tracks, I think that's a dope move. Now, who this is actually for is another different question. I couldn't see myself using this like as an on-the-go beat machine type vibe. While it's cool that you get the battery power and all of that stuff like that, it's got built-in sounds. They say like 1,000 some odd sounds and all those things like that, being able to do that. I don't really see the value in it for that. Where I see the value at is, that's wild. That's wild. You know what else is wild? The fact that you probably haven't heard of Peculiar Sounds yet. Listen, if you need those unique, soulful sounds to really bring a track to life, then Peculiar Sounds V2 has just what you need. We're talking signature keys, synths, pads, plus hundreds of MIDI files that make it super easy to jumpstart your creativity. All of these are curated and sampled by the one and only legendary Doobie Powell. It's perfect for gospel, R&B, or any genre that needs that rich type of vibe. And guess what? It works with any DAW. It's standalone, all of those things like that. So if you could do me a favor, jump down in the description, head on over to gospelproducers.com and take your sound to the next level. All right, back to the show. For the performing musician, the gigging musician, the live musician, whether you're gigging, touring, or doing those type things, or if you're playing in church, I like to always speak to that audience because that's where my roots are, is out of that, space. So having something like this, when I was playing in church, this would have been actually pretty clutch because I could load up my drum loops, my stems, on each one of those things. And because it does kind of function like Ableton in that respect, because you can launch scenes, you can do all those different things like that. So this is almost like I think they did a app earlier this year, I think it was, or earlier last year, maybe early this year or late last year, called like Ableton Note. I think that's what it was called. So they basically took Ableton Note and then they made it into a standalone machine, which is cool. And I like the fact that it's battery powered. You get 4 hours. That's why I said, like, for a gigging musician, something like this, pulling up to a church, you know what I'm saying? This fits in your backpack. You don't have to carry your laptop. You don't have to carry in a whole lot of cables, a whole lot of, an audio interface, any of those things. This, in my opinion, would be a dope audience or a dope market or a dope person. This is who I would say it was for. Now, as far as price point, 400, let's zoom it in down there, $449. So you're talking about almost $500 for this guy. That does kind of sway my opinion a little bit. I don't know if it's worth $500. Maybe the sound set, the freedom and functionality, but it is cheaper than like a Push. You know what I'm saying? Like a Push 3, definitely. And it's got some other features that, kind of let you connect with it in Ableton. But, my hot take on this is that it's for, if I had to suggest this to somebody, I would, if somebody was saying like, yo, I'm looking for something to kind of replace my laptop for running tracks, whether it's live or at church or something like that, I would probably suggest this guy to them because it's like, yo, that's actually a pretty dope situation. I'm gonna try to get my hands on one of these so we can actually check it out here on the channel. But I think this is a pretty dope little setup that they came up with. I'm not too mad at the price. I mean, it's $400. That is what it is. But I think if I was sitting in this seat, I'd probably spend that money. I'd probably spend that money on that, or that, not as a beat making machine, because one, I'm not a beat maker, and even if I was like a beat maker, I probably would still be doing what I'm doing right now, which is working holistically in the box. But that's my take on it. That's kind of what I think about it. I think it's a cool little device. It's got some cool little features and some little things like that, but I really don't see it. You could change my mind in the comment section. Welcome to, if you think it's, really worth that. But I don't think it's for your average beat maker. There's a lot better options in the box, and there's a lot better options out the box that you can get. You know what I mean? MPC Live, Machine, things of that nature kind of come to mind that kind of do this little thing, do what this does a little bit better in a better flow. I if I was a beat maker, I'd spend a couple $100 more and get like a Kai, MPC Live or something like that if I was like in the beat making game. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section about this. Is this something that's made you able to move towards it? Or do you think that it's a miss for Ableton? I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know.